Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video for everything that I sold on eBay the first week of June, and that is because I only made sales on eBay the first week of June. So I'm going to scoot over here and let's get talking. First thing I have to share with you is this pair of Action Slacks. Action Slacks are a vintage thing from Levi's that I think they discontinued in 2013. I'm not 100% sure. Somewhere around the 20 teens is when they discontinued them. I found these at Diversity Thrift. I paid $1 for them and I sold for $12, and of course the buyer had to pay for shipping. Miss Moxie has decided to join all of us. Here she is with her cute little face. This is something I picked up at the Dav. I paid $5 for this. This was a 90s sweater, had music all over it. These Karen Scott sweaters, as long as you can get them for really cheap and are in good shape, I do recommend picking them up. Normally they sell, of course, a little more consistently when it's colder, but I'm still selling thick sweaters at the beginning of June, which is why I said even though my what sold videos are behind, I still sell everything all the time. So that's why. $15.90, and of course the buyer had to pay a padded flat rate for shipping because this was thick, like well into 2 pounds thick. This is a Lily Pulitzer piece. It's very rare that I find Lily Pulitzer in my area, just at all. People around here, I live in the coastal South. Well, I should say I live on the coast in the South, and that is like peak Lily Pulitzer area. I should say I've been to a few charity events in this area, and everybody is wearing Tommy Bahama and Lily Pulitzer whenever I go to one of those. So people that have it tend to hold on to it. So I found this, I believe, for $4 at a thrift store, and it sold for $21.90. So this album actually was not in my giant vinyl haul, which if you haven't seen that video, I will link it up above. This is actually an album I picked up at an estate sale by itself, actually not by itself. I had a couple of other albums as well, and this one, Second and Charles, did not take. So now that I have a way to test the album and also a way to ship the album, I decided to go ahead and give it a listen and see if someone would purchase it from me. This was from 1976, and this was the Destroyer album from Kiss. It did have a scratch in it, but it did not cause a skip, and you can see the cardboard sleeve was a bit scuffed, but someone still paid me $10.30 for it, and I'm really happy because I believe I paid $1 for this at that estate sale. Another item to thank Brett for. Brett gave me a big stack of vintage postcards because he knows how much I love selling ephemera. This is a 40s linen postcard of the Statue of Liberty, and it sold for my full asking price of $3.87, and I was able to charge less than $1 for shipping because I sent this eBay standard envelope. This is a piece that I had hoped I would like. They did not fit me. They were a little bit too big for me. But this is a New Balance X Isaac Mizrahi, which I think Isaac Mizrahi sells a lot of stuff on QVC. I'm not 100% sure. But these were super soft, and I hope whoever got them loves them because I am a little sad that these did not fit me. I was like, well, they're leggings. They're kind of like squishy, like they suck you in, right? But yeah, no, it was too loose on me. But they sold for $10.30, and the buyer paid for shipping. So again, I hope those people loved them because I was a little sad that they didn't fit me. The next two items I believe are viewer sales. So Diane, thank you very much. She bought two things for me. She bought this J. Dill Pure Jill color block cardigan for me. It was this beautiful like coral and pink and gray. I think it's gray or white, I don't remember. But it was just like this long flowy cardigan from J. Jill, and sold for $13.50, and the buyer paid for shipping. And the reason why I say that they only paid $2.50 for shipping is because of the fact that they also bought this Pure Jill kimono sweater from me. This was a cotton cashmere blend. Also beautiful, and I was sad that this did not fit me. This was a size small. It didn't fit on me quite the way I wanted it to, so I'm glad that it went to a viewer. Diane, I hope you loved it. She paid $22 for this item, and I was able to fit both of them and send them priority to her, which is why she only paid $2.50 for one and then $6.95 for another. So Diane, thank you very much. I hope you love them. The next two items are books that Nancy purchased from me. I found both of these at the bins, so I have $1 on all in. She paid $5.74 for these, and then she paid for shipping. Normally you guys see me return shipping, but she told me to keep it. So Nancy, thank you. That was very generous of you. This is Oliver Twist and Great Expectations. Great Expectations is the only book by Charles Dickens I have read all the way through, and that is because I really loved the movie with Ethan Hawke and Gwyneth Paltrow that came out in the 90s. Like last time I did a What's Sold video, I talked about Romeo and Juliet. I also watched Great Expectations a lot at the same time. So that is the only book I've ever read, and that is because I really love that movie. They're not at all alike. The book and the movie, not at all alike, but thank you so much for purchasing things for me, Nancy, and I hope you like the books. This is a pair of Lacoste shoes. I paid $9 for these at a thrift store. I picked them up because they were Lacoste and I wanted to try them. I've never bought and sold Lacoste shoes before, and they actually sold relatively quickly for me, which I was surprised by. They sold for $21, so I doubled my money, and of course the buyer had to pay for shipping. They paid $12 for shipping. This is a Tommy Bahama shift dress, and this is linen. This was highlighter yellow. If this was green, I probably would have kept this, but because this did fit me. It was a size medium and it did fit me. It was long enough, although I would have to be careful how I sat down. But I thought this was a nice style of dress, and I got it in pink and this highlighter yellow color. The pink one is a size small. I paid $6 for these at a thrift store, and it sold for $27.90. So Tommy Bahama does sell, and linen sells, and I love selling linen. If you've been around on my channel for a while, you know how much I love buying and selling otagiri. It always moves for me. It's not a fast mover, but it is a consistent mover. And also how much I love buying and selling mugs. This sold for my full asking price of $9.87, and the buyer paid padded flat rate for shipping. Did not send this padded flat rate in a padded flat rate bag. I do send these in the number 7 box, so it's 7 by 7 by 6 box. I don't use the FOMO method anymore at all, actually. So the padded flat rate amount, almost that $10.40 almost always covers the full shipping expense, regardless of where I send it in the United States, in the 7 by 7 by 6 box. I talk about these little knit pieces from the 90s. They sell for me. This was a patchwork one. I paid, I believe, like $1 or $2 for this. It sold for $10, and the buyer paid for shipping. I buy these because I consistently sell them. This is a size large, and as I mentioned before, a lot of people are wearing these as tops and not as a vest. This is a piece I also picked up for myself, and it ended up not fitting me. This is a size small Under Armour piece. I sold it on offer for $7.90. The buyer paid for shipping. I paid about $3 for this at a thrift store. Again, I purchased this because I thought it would fit me. It was a little bit too tight right here, which the arms is always where I have issues. So I'm glad that it sold very quickly and that I ended up doubling my money on it, even though I had bought it for myself. This is something I bought at an estate sale. Actually, I think it's the same estate sale I bought that Kiss album from. I paid like less than $1 for this at that estate sale, and it sold for $4, and this was actually my last one. So I had actually a big stack of these, and they just consistently sold until they were all gone. I love buying and selling vintage cookbooks. I don't normally get a whole lot for them. Some of them I get a lot of money for, but not many of them do I get a lot of money from, but they do consistently sell for me, and I'm very grateful. This is something I picked up at the bins. I paid 50 cents for this. This was a new little locking journal for like a little girl. It sold for $7.90. So I paid 50 cents. This, again, I'm trying to do buy 3 get 1 free for books in my store to try to sell volume, and incorporating the price of the book or the shipping of the book into the price. So did I make a whole lot of money on this? No, I made like probably $2 off of this, but I still saved something from the landfill. So, and some little girl got a cool little journal to write in. This is a piece out of my own closet. So this is my rotating reseller closet as well as my own personal closet. If I put something into my closet, I have to take something out of my closet. And so I decided to sell this thing, to sell this piece. This is from when I worked at Adidas. This is Adidas x Stella McCartney. You will see that I definitely had a major, I still do have a major crush on Stella McCartney as far as her clothing line. She is an amazing designer, and I love almost all of her pieces. This was a women's extra small because I used to be a women's extra small, and it sold for $18.75, and the buyer paid padded flat rate for shipping. This came out of that estate sale I got kicked out of. This was a silk piece. This is from the 90s, and this is actually a men's piece, and it was a size large, and it had a flaw. So silk can be washed if you do it delicately, and this had some discoloration on it, so I did put it in the wash, and thankfully most of the discoloration came out. The problem is that after I took it out, I realized that whoever had worn this, maybe they were not a size large anymore, but we're still trying to make it work, because there was some distending here in the back, and that normally comes from somebody being like too big in the arms and like stretching too far in the shirt, and so it like stretched out the shirt. But I did disclose that, and somebody still bought it from me, and they paid $18. And again, I paid probably like $2 or $3 for this shirt at that estate sale. This is a pair of Y2K jeans. I picked these up at Diversity Thrift, so I paid $1 for them, and they sold for $10. And I picked them up because they were a big Gap and they were Y2K, and those are big right now. They had the flare legs, and that's what's popular now, and they were a nice size, so size 16 curvy, and so I went ahead and picked them up, and they sold, and I'm surprised and happy. So that was a super quick turnaround for me, for something that I was giving it a go. Like, I'm more willing to try things when I'm paying $1 or less for them, and this is one of those times that really worked out. I've already shown this sale before. I went to the Restore recently and picked up a bunch of stuff, and the Restore by me prices things interestingly. So they had these Hull mugs priced at $1 each, and so I picked them all up, and I immediately sold 2 of them for $18 a piece, a total of $36 for 2 mugs. And the buyer paid $15.90 for shipping. I did refund them like 54 cents because they asked if there was an overage, if they would get an amount back, and I was like, yes, but I'm shipping these all the way across the country, so I don't think I'm going to be able to give you much back, but I did because they asked, and I would have anyway because that's normally what I do. And so I'm really happy about this, and that was a great return of investment, from $2 to $36. Amazing. This is a Duluth trading shirt. This is a roll tab sleeve, and it sold for $14. I talk about how much I love buying and selling Duluth trading. It doesn't sell for a whole lot for me. It's very bread and butter, so if I get it for pretty cheap, I will happily pick it up. And it is one of the few brands for women where they give you real pockets. I'm sorry, Moxie's shedding like crazy right now. And that's why I love picking it up, and the universe keeps giving it to me, which is great, except they don't give any of it in my size, which is less great because I'm guessing the universe knows that I would keep it all. So it is both a positive and a negative to me, I think. This I'm so shocked about. So I have made money now off of Faded Glory, and I have made money off of H&M. I picked this up at a yard sale. I very rarely go to yard sales or garage sales. And everything on the table was like 50 cents for clothing, and I just thought the dress was cute, and it wasn't until I got it home I realized it was an H&M dress. It still sold for $7, so 50 cents into $7. I'll take it, and I can now say I made money off of H&M. So this next item I believe sold because the new Legend of Zelda game came out for the Switch, and this was the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the Whale with Glyph sweatshirt. This I had to sweater shave because it had some pilling here, and once I took the pilling off, took photographs of it. This is another item I paid $1 for at Diversity Thrift, and it sold for $12, so another great return on my investment. This is a Woolrich piece. I do like to pick up flannel pieces when I can find them. I paid $5.50 for this at a thrift store, and it sold for $15.90. So great bread and butter brand for me, and I am grateful for every sale. And the last item I have to share with you is this pair of Gramici shorts. Whenever I see these little belts when I am going through the racks, I know it's probably going to be a good outdoor brand, and Gramici is a good outdoor brand. It's mostly a bread and butter brand, but there are certain pieces that can sell for more than $25, $30. They're just few and far between, at least that I found. This is actually my first time finding Gramici out in the wild, and I paid $4 for this at a thrift store, and it sold for $20. But that is everything I sold for the first week of June, and I'm grateful for every sale. Again, Diane and Nancy, thank you so much for purchasing from me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye! Bye.